Hello everyone. This is Dr. R.Sasikumar, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering from RMDEC College. Today we are going to discuss about vector interrupt. So in Flint's classification, there are four classifications available. One is SIST, there is a single instruction stream and single data stream. The second one is the SIMD, single instruction stream and multiple data stream. The third one is the MISD, multiple instruction stream and single data stream. And fourth one is the MIMD, multiple instruction stream and multiple data stream. In this video, I am going to discuss about SIMD technique. There is a single instruction stream and multiple data stream. So this is what the vector interrupt belongs to SIMD category. So what is vector architecture? Vector architecture is nothing but what somewhat parallel architecture. Instead of array, we can use some parallel concept. That's why we move on to vector concept. So SIMD computer operates on vectors of data. SIMD is nothing but what a single instruction stream and multiple data streams. The vector architecture pipeline, they aim to get good performance at lower cost. So the vector architecture collects the data elements from memory, put them into order into a large set of registers, operate on them sequentially in registers using pipeline execution unit, and then write the result back to the memory. So here, the collection of data elements from memory and everything will be put into that order wise. Then operate on sequentially with the help of a pipeline execution unit and write the result back to the memory. So what are the important key features of vector architecture means what set of vector registers. So how many vector registers available means what every vector architecture might have 32 vector registers, each with 64 elements. So 32 into 64. So every vector register is connected what 64 bit element. And here another concept is what a vector lane. So what is the use of that lane means what when we have a more than one lane means what then we can perform the operations simultaneously. So one or more vector functional units and a portion of the vector register file and multiple lane execute vector operations simultaneously. So what is the use of that vector lane means what increase the throughput. So what is called the throughput means what the amount of work to be done in a specified time. And what is the another advantage of vector learning? What that reduce the number of clock cycles per vector instruction and efficient way to execute data parallel processing problem. So normally that lane is available what in almost all the national highway we are having a lane. So what is the purpose of that separate lane means what in every lane we can use some particular vehicle in that particular lane only. If we follow the rules and regulations, then there is no traffic will not occur and everything this engine performance will be improved and every vehicles will be fast in a very good speed without any interrupter. So that is an advantage of lane. The same concept we can apply in that computer architecture. So instead of array processor, we can use the vector processor. What is the use of that vector processor? Means what some group of elements can be stored and all the elements can be accessed in a sequential way. So this is what array processor concept. So A of 1 and B of 1, we can show that C of 0, C of 1. A of 2 plus B of 2, we can have a C of 2 and C of 3 is nothing but what A of 3 and B of 3. C of 4 is nothing but what A of 4 plus B of 4. C of 5 is nothing but what A of 5 plus B of 5. Likewise, we have to store. This is an array process. But instead of array process, when we move on to vector process, the group of elements can be taken at a time and with the help of vector registers, we can store a group of elements at a time. So what is the meaning means what see at a time we can get what four elements C of 0, C of 1, C of 2 and C of 3. And what about that another 4 means what A of 4, B of 4 will be added, A of 5 plus B of 5 will be added, A of 6 and B of 6 will be added, A of 7 and B of 7 will be added. With the help of pipeline executions, we can add four elements at a time and we will get the four outputs at a time. So this is the advantage of a vector concept. And what is the use of that vector lane means what the vector lane it is used to perform different tasks simultaneously. Every task will be independent and the speed will be improved and the throughput also high. What is the use of the throughput means what the total amount of work done to be in a specified time that is called what the throughput. Here With respect to this example, we have a totally 4 lanes: lane 0, lane 1, and lane 2, and lane 3. Every lane which contains what floating point addition, floating point multiplication, and the vector register element. So in lane 0, we have a floating point addition pipeline number 0, floating point multiplication pipeline number 0, and vector register element, the 0th element, 4th element, 8th element, 12th element, 16th element. So we have a 4 element, 4 lanes, So 0th lane element, 4th element, 8th element. In terms of 4 difference, that is available in lane 0, and lane 1, floating point addition pipeline 1, floating point multiplication pipeline 1, and vector register element is what? First element, fifth element, ninth element, 13th element, etc. In lane 2, we have a floating point addition pipeline 2, floating point multiplication pipeline 2, and vector register element is what? 2, 6, 10, 14, etc. And lane 3, we have a floating point addition pipeline 3, floating point multiplication pipeline 3, and vector register element is for 3, 7, 11, and 15, etc. So we can store at a time, we can perform at a time floating point addition operation and the floating point multiplication operation. Every data will be stored into separate vector register also. So the vector lane which perform what independent task, and all the tasks are simultaneously executed with the help of a pipeline execution, and the speed will be increased and the throughput also increase. That is a concept of vector link. I hope you understand this concept. Thank you.